Hi everyone and welcome, my name is Dora and this is my 9th update to Pan That Palette and BYOP. For my Pan That Palette, I'm working on the Black Cherry palette by Barry M. Pan That Palette was of course created by MF, who I've linked down below. And I'm now going to show you what this palette has been looking like since the intro. And I'm very excited to share that I've got 2 more empties in today's update, and here is what the palette is looking like today. So my goals were to focus on Wild and Glacé, not necessarily to finish them, but of course I got really ambitious, and then I also wanted to re-hit Pan and Juiced, which I had just repressed, I think at my last update. So I feel like, I'm ready to share another update here. And I've now got an all matte palette, which obviously makes things a little bit harder. I'm still trying to use a shadow every single day. I'm also, of course, doing No Pan Left Behind. And when I'm trying to do an exclusive look with a palette over there in that project, I'm trying to make that the second look of the day. So I only do that on days where I feel like applying my makeup all over again. But yeah, this has got priority for me. Okay. Let's go through the uses though, one by one. So Ripen was already done. Glacé I used a further 14 times. Of course, not just as an inner corner highlight shadow at this point anymore. I use this a lot all over the lid in order to finish it. And I've got a total amount of uses of 234 on this shadow in order to have it done. Of course, the most used shadow in this palette. And yeah, that's because it was mostly an inner corner highlight shadow only. Cherry Tart looks empty, and it was empty at my last update, but it's not officially done yet because I frankened it with Bakewell. So what you're seeing in Bakewell here is a mix of these 2 shadows here. So I've got a total of 96 uses on Cherry Tart, but I can't say it's done yet. And I've stopped tallying my uses for Cherry Tart because I'm only counting Bakewell now, even though it's got some of the other shadow in there too. Speaking of Bakewell, I have used this now franken shadow 19 times since my last update. I've now got a total of 119 uses on this shadow. Sour was already done at my last update. That's the center shadow. And then Wild, so this bronzy shadow, not a favorite, but I often mixed it with Glacé. I used this a further 11 times since my last update in order to finish it, and it came to 59 total uses. Not too shabby. Juiced, I've used a further 15 times, so I hit Pan 3 uses ago, so after 12 more uses. And then expanded the pan slightly. I've got this all over my lids today and also on my lower lash line as a crease shadow and as a blush as well. 15 uses since my last update, and that's 77 in total. Bitter I used 16 times since my last update, and that's a total of 82 uses. And then Poison, that purple shadow, I've got that in the outer corner today. I used that just 8 times since my last update for a total of 85 uses. Yeah. And in case you're wondering, I am wearing a Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde shadow called Nebula as a topper shadow. So it's this one here. And it just sort of makes everything a little bit more purple. So that's that. Okay, shall I set some goals for next time? Whew. Okay, I'm going to have Bakewell as my focus shadow. I'm going to hold off with Juice just a little bit because I'm focusing on a hot pink in my Pan That palette in order right now, and I need to hit Pan on that. Actually, I can probably just sort of combine them, and yeah, I'm going to try to continue as a blush, but when it comes to my eyelids, I'm going to prioritize the ABH Riviera pink shadow. Yeah, so Bakewell, the Franken Bakewell is going to be my focus. And then with these two, try to use them on the outer corner as often as I can. Sometimes I don't find them deep enough, especially now that we're going into autumn. I am often wanting something much, much deeper than this. It's very tempting to try and Franken, but I think I'm gonna hold off. I'm not sure yet. We're gonna have to wait and see, but yeah, I hope maybe I can have, maybe, if I could have another empty next time, that would be so good. But in any case, lots of progress on Bakewell is what I'm going for and hoping for. All right, that's that. Let's talk about my BYOP now. I upgraded my BYOP at my last update and went up in size from a 9-pan magnetic palette to this one here. I'm going to show you a picture of what this looked like last time. And here's what my BYOP is looking like today. There are some changes. No milestones have been hit, no pans have been hit. But I did make a few swaps here and there, and I'm gonna go over that. But yeah, I'm super excited about this palette. I've got a decent amount of usage on here, and that is because, you know, of course, I've only got mattes left in here now. I'm really using this as a Better Together by Paula, aka a beauty guru, made me do it. That kind of concept where, yeah, I'm dipping into these shimmers here, very shimmer heavy BYOP that I've got going on here, in order to make what's remaining in my Barry M work for me. This row here, these 5 here, these are my Franken shadows. Actually, this one is a Depotted Revolution shadow, but these are shadows that I'm just putting in here for just 1 month in order to test them out and then decide, do I want to keep them or do I want to declutter them? And I do have 1 declutter, 1 that I'm still on the fence about, and 3 loves. So I'm going to start with that row here, and then I'll go over the uses of the other shadows as well and what I've swapped out. So this one here, this first one, this is a declutter. I used this on the outer corner in a look the other day and just didn't show up much. So I'm going to scrape this out and reuse this metal pan, yeah, and put something much nicer in there. This one here is a complete love. So I'm going to hold on to this one, but remove it from this palette and put something else in there later. This is the Franken from what I had left of the Revolution Kombucha Kiss palette, my pan that palette of 23-24. And I added some other Revolution shadows in here as well. I used this once, but I can't quite decide yet. So I'm gonna keep it in here and move it to the side just to have it in here for another month, and then I'm gonna give you my verdict next time. This one that is a love I used twice, by the way. Moving on to this one here, beautiful formula, only used it once and very soft, great as a topper shadow. I am definitely holding on to this one. And finally, the Depotted Revolution, super useful in the crease. I'm going to hold on to it as well, and I used this 4 times. That's quite a lot for me for these BYOP shadows. Before I show you what I'm going to put in here for this coming month, let's go through the rest of these shadows here. So these are 2 Natasha Denona shadows from the Ayana palette, which I got from Ruth, and I depotted it. I only used this top one here as a topper shadow once. I didn't use this one here, but I'm gonna keep this one in here. It was super nice as a neutral of my main pan that palette as a topper shadow. This one here, because it is so similar and I didn't use it, and because it's so similar to this shadow here, I'm going to take this one out and switch it out for a different Ayana Natasha Denona shadow. These 2 are Depotted Revolution shadows from the Chilled palette. I didn't get to these 2, so I'm going to keep them in, and actually also in order to decide, do I want to keep them or not? I'm going to be a little bit more ruthless here. These 2 are the shadows left from the Revolution Kombucha Kiss, apart from this oddly Franken one. This top one, the shimmer, I used 3 times, really love it. And this bottom one, great for my brows. I used 5 times. I'm gonna keep both of them in because I find both of them super handy, and I think it would be really satisfying to see a little bit more progress, hopefully some pan for the end of the year. This is a swap out just because, you know, once Glacé was done in the Barry M, I needed another inner corner shadow. So I put in, from the Revolution Chilled, the shadow Calm. Whoop. And I used it 11 times since then. This one is a depotted Revolution Jewel Glow palette shadow, shade number 6, okay. Great for the crease, and I used that 3 times. Then this one is a Franken of a Bare Minerals loose pigment and a Sizzly bronzer, and I used this item 16 times. I'm going to include the weight difference because these two have been in here since the intro of BYOP of this year, so I did get to weigh them for now, but yeah, you'll see the number here for this one. And then let's move on to the Kiko. This is a depotted Kiko in the other Sizzly blush bronzer pan, and I managed to use this 11 times since my last update. Often as a blush, but a couple of times as a eyeshadow topper as well. Again, weight differences here. And then these 5 here at the bottom, they're all eyeshadows that I have previously decided from this project. So I really, really love them, so I wanted to put them in here. And actually this one is a swap. I wanted something light pink that I could use with the remaining hot pink juiced in the Barry M. And I often wear this all over my lids, and then the pink Barry M in the outer corner, and blend that out, and it looks really quite nice. I quite enjoy that. So I did that 6 times. This purple one here I didn't use. I'm gonna keep both of them in though. I'm gonna keep that entire bottom row in, I think. Didn't use this next one here, another Franken. I used the bronze Franken ones, and I used the sort of taupey neutral one also once. I'm gonna keep those in. I might swap them out in between updates, but for now they're gonna stay in here. And now I'm gonna show you what I'm going to bring in instead. Let's kick off with the Natasha Denona Ayana replacement shadow, and I'm bringing in this one here, my favorite. It shattered, I had to repress it, so there's a huge pan on here. I think I would have had pan on here anyway because it's just such a beautiful shadow. And yeah, bring this one in, and I think I'm gonna swatch it actually. I think it's so beautiful, and I swatched it next to the pink here juiced, and I really quite liked how that looked. So maybe I can wear these 2 shadows and a look together. I like that a lot. And then the other 4 I'm bringing in are 4 Frankens to test out again. I've got, they're all very similar, but let me swatch them out so you can see. So first of all, I'm going to swatch out that Franken that I'm on the fence about. So there's this one. And then here are the next Frankens that I'm bringing in this month. Yeah, so there's some sort of purple and neutral stuff going on here. Again, I just teamed it with what I've got left of the Barry M, because I just wanted something that would help me to wear those shadows more as well. This is what's remaining of the Barry M, and I just thought I could combine that. This shadow here is this one. Then the next one, so similar. That's this shadow here, the swatch. And then I've got another purple, kind of more on the satin side of things. Might be a no, but we'll see. And finally, this last one here. So here's what my BYOP looks like for the month of September and into October. I'm excited to try everything out, specifically this row here of all the new ones. And I really, really want to try at least once these 2 greener shadows from the Revolution Chilled palette, and then decide, because I think it would be great, as you know, maybe, I still want to declutter a few more palettes for the end of the year, and if I can, you know, and if I've got space to depot shadows of decluttered palettes, and put them into my single existing magnetic eyeshadow palettes, that would be great, but I need more space because currently I've got no empty pans apart from this one once I've scraped it all out. So that's the plan. Yeah, so that's that. Thank you so much for watching all the way until the end. I really hope you'll subscribe if you haven't done so already. And other than that, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or night, wherever you are. And I'm sending you so much love. Take care. Bye.